Wednesday show. Wednesday show. Wednesday show. Hello, everybody. This was the closest we've ever come to missing the Wednesday show being on time. We're like 45 seconds late, so that's not bad at all, considering I was at my parents' condo not even 30 minutes ago. How's everyone doing? You guys doing good? Hopefully everyone's doing good out there. Today we're going to be doing a recap of this past weekend's Princess Half Marathon weekend. So make sure you come join us, join in the fun, sign in the chat, say hello, give it a like. If you guys have not already given it a like, there's like a like button down here. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button right over here. That's if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, maybe you should come over to YouTube because YouTube's fun too. Here we go. People are coming on. Hey, hey, hey. Hola. How's everyone doing? Are you guys doing good? Hopefully everyone's doing good. Hello! Exclamation mark. What's that Christmas song? Merry Christmas! Exclamation mark or something like that. You guys know that one? It's a pretty funny one. Hello, Holly. Yeah, so we're going to be doing a recap of the Princess Half Marathon. Holly, did you do all 3 races? I think you're... Oh, yeah. I know you commented on one of my pictures saying that you were doing at least the 5K and 10K, I want to say. But did you do all 3? Or am I remembering this wrong? I could be remembering this wrong. Oh, wait, whatever you do not tell me what happens in the season finale, because I'm waiting for that to come online later on. Amazing Race is my favorite TV show. So whatever you do not tell me. Do not say a word. I watched the first hour, and I'm waiting to watch the second hour after we do the Wednesday show. I'm doing good. This past weekend has been a great weekend. Yes, I did. First time doing all 3 in a weekend and first challenge. Congratulations. Everyone say congratulations to Holly. Congratulations, Holly. Holly, if you do not get at least 5 congratulations in the chat room, I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll yell at people. Don't tell. Okay. Just went for a snowy skate. Ready to hear about Disney races. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Congratulations are going in for Holly. So today, we're going to be doing a recap of all 3 races. I have my half marathon shirt on right now. And, we're going to go through. There we go. We got 5 congratulations. Oh, we got 6 congratulations. Everyone's congratulating Holly. It's like a holiday. All right, so let's get this party started. We're going to start the 654th episode of the Wednesday show in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 654th episode of the Wednesday show. Today is March 2nd, 2022, and I'm your host, as always, Brent Dutch. Hello. Today we're going to be doing a recap of this past weekend's Princess Half Marathon weekend. That is Princess Half Marathon weekend 2022. But of course, before we get to that, let's talk about our news for the week. First off, thank you everyone who's been joining us for our Saturday in the Park. If you didn't already know, every single Saturday right here on this channel, we do a live. If you're watching on Facebook, I have to keep on trying to fix that. I'm just so used to saying the same thing for the last 12 years. Almost 12 and a half years. Holy cow, we've been doing this forever. It is literally we are approaching we've passed the 12 and a half year mark. That's insane. Okay, anyways, every single Saturday right here on the From Screen to Theme Facebook page, we do a live broadcast from someplace found throughout the Walt Disney World Resort. Make sure you join us every single Saturday. We always have a lot of fun. Also, today was the first day of Flower and Garden Festival. Usually what we do is we usually do a broadcast, or we usually do it to the Wednesday show on the day that it opens, is usually our broadcast about the Flower and Garden Festival. However, because this is the first time ever in the 12 years we've been doing this, it fell on the same weekend or the same Wednesday after a Princess Half Marathon. We are pushing it back to next week. So next week, and that's actually going to give me a little bit more time to experience the festival. But next week, we will be doing a recap of this year's Flower and Garden Festival. So make sure you join us next Wednesday as well. as we do that. And of course, if you guys have not been checking out my daily YouTube videos, make sure you go check those out as well. Give them a like, comment on them, all that other fun stuff. I am doing daily Disney videos, which is insane. It's been exhausting. So make sure you're going over and giving them a little bit of love. And we are also, tonight, we're going to be doing another extended episode if we can get to, let's see what our goal is tonight. That's like a Spider-Man remix there. Let's get to 1,400. Let's get to 1,400 subscribers tonight. So if any of you have 4 friends that you want to send over to subscribe on YouTube, we are currently 4 subscribers away from 1,400. So send them over this way. And if you guys if we get to the 1,400 mark by 10:30, we will go into extra innings and talk a little bit more about anything and everything Disney as soon as we hit that point. And of course, as always, tonight's show is sponsored by It's All About the Mouse Travel. Make sure you stop by It's All About the Mouse Travel.com for all of your Disney travel needs. All their services are absolutely, positively, 100% free. So make sure you book with them for your next Disney vacation. Okay. Show of hands in the chat room before we get started here. How many people out there have done a Run Disney race in the back? Not in the back, in the past. Or on your back. That'd be kind of difficult to do. I guess you can like swim it, like do the back pedal, but laying on your back for 13.1 miles. It'd probably be painful, but crazy challenge. Let's point out also, now that I say that, it's Run Disney related. So when you are doing Run Disney races, they take your pictures along the course, and then they use your bib, which we're going to be going through the bib later on. So they use your bib number, and you have a special code on the back to retrieve your Run Disney photos. And I always try to do like really ridiculous poses. And one time in front of Tower of Terror, I decided it'd be funny to like lay down on the street with the bib and and I have never been yelled at so much in my life as I was it was awful. It was awful. Okay, let's see here. Candace says, doing the Springtime Surprise is my first. I will see you out there. I am so excited for the Springtime Surprise. I have done the Expedition Everest Challenge back when I was at the first Expedition Everest Challenge, and the second and the third and the fourth. I missed the 5th and the 6th, and I came back for the 7th, and they stopped it that next year. And then the Tower of Terror 10 miler, I've only done the last one ever. I never did it in the previous ones. And then the Race for the Taste 10K, I never had a chance to do. So I'm very excited to check out that. Hopefully it's a fun race. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's get this party started. So while we are going through and talking about this weekend's events, as always, make sure you guys are throwing some questions down into the comments below, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. And I will go through as many questions, if not all the questions, as we go through the episode tonight. So make sure if you start having questions now, start throwing them in there. And I'm going to be trying to go through and keeping my eye on the chat room, and we can start talking or start answering them as soon as possible. All right, so first off, if you guys have never done a Run Disney race before, there are 4 Run Disney race weekends. We talk about Run Disney races a lot on here because I kind of have an obsession. I have a very, very strong obsession with Run Disney races. So there's a race season. The race season actually starts in November with the Wine and Dine Half Marathon, and then it goes to the Marathon Weekend, which is in January. We just talked about that about 5 or 6 weeks ago, maybe 7 weeks ago now. And then there is the Princess Half Marathon Weekend, which we're going to be talking about tonight. And then now there is the Springtime Surprise. In the past, there was other races like the Star Wars Half Marathon. They used to also have Disneyland races as well. There used to be a Disneyland Half Marathon weekend. There used to be a Tinkerbell Half Marathon weekend, Avengers Half Marathon weekend, and also a Star Wars Half Marathon weekend as well. And then in addition to that, there is a Disneyland Paris weekend as well. I did the very first one over there, but not all of it. Oh, here we go. We have our first question of the night, and this is a good question because I had a lot of people sending me questions or messages on Instagram. Why is your one arm behind your back in the pics? Well, let's go to one of the pictures so we can actually explain what's going on here. So if you guys did notice, as the weekend was going on, I posted a lot of different pictures of myself during the weekend here. And here, let's just pull up the first one I can find. There we go, me with Abu. And as you can see, my arm is behind my back. If we go to this one here with me, Jeannie, you can see my arm is behind my back. And if you go over to, this could have been a really cool segue if I would have known this question was coming up. If you go over to my YouTube channel, you may notice that we have these three things right here: the Princess Half Marathon 5K, 10K, and Half Marathon. When I was filming those videos, in every single one of those videos, I do go through and I show the character that I'm running up to, and then I continue to show the character while I'm actually getting my picture taken. So when my hand is behind my back, that's actually me still videotaping. So I'm very, very conscious. I was actually telling my friend Frank, who ran the 10K and the half marathon with me this weekend, I was telling him that one of the greatest things that I've ever decided to do was start filming these things, like making YouTube videos for that day, like specifically editing as soon as I finish the race and getting those videos uploaded as soon as I finish the race. And one of the greatest things is when you are running a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, 10K, which is 6.2, or a half marathon, which is 13.1. When you're doing that, the greatest enemy for me in the past has always been my brain, my own brain, because it's extremely smart. Yeah. No, because at times you have nothing to do but just sit there and think. And you start thinking about how much pain you're in and how many miles you have left and all this different stuff like that. And when I am filming these races and running these races, and then I start thinking, oh, okay, well, this is going to be the part where I edit, like, oh, on that shot, I'm going to have to edit this part out. Or if I hear someone say something behind me that is not, family friendly, I have to edit that out. So I start thinking about different things like that. And when I start thinking about things like that, it actually helps the time go by extremely quickly. Multitasking. Yeah. So it is a lot of multitasking. It is a lot crazier than I think people realize, because not only are we running 3 races, but we're also focusing on YouTube video and editing and all that other stuff. And I'm a very, very challenge-oriented person. So the idea that I can go through and continue to like get these videos up immediately, like, to me, that's a challenge, and I love it. Okay, so we got another question here. We will get to the expo in just a second here. What's your race recovery like? I don't really have one. So it's immediately after the race, the first thing I do is, after you go through and you pick up your food and your drinks and stuff, which comes with the price of admission. Hey, $300, but don't worry, you get a banana. As soon as you finish, our tradition is we always go off to the side, sit down for a while, kind of just let our legs rest a little bit, and then eat as much of that food as possible. And then if we're still hungry, we go out to eat. And then I edit my videos. And after I edit my videos, I'll sleep for like 2-3 hours. And then I go to the park because I still want to go through and do the park. So I don't really have like a full recovery thing, or at least I don't have a normal recovery thing. A lot of the stuff that I do as a runner for these races, I probably would not recommend to people who are starting off on running. But you also have to understand that I've been doing these races since 2007 was my first Run Disney race. It was a full marathon in 2007 during marathon weekend. And since then, I've done probably around 100 races, if not more, if not less. Or maybe if not either one of those, dead on. This might have been my 100th race, and I just have no idea. I haven't really paid attention to that at all. I was paying really close attention to my medal count when I got started getting closer to 50. And then I paid close attention to it when I got closer to 100. And then after 100, I was like, I'm running these things because I love to run them. They're addicting. So I don't really have a race recovery, though. I just kind of take my time. On Monday, I slept in like crazy. And then I went to Animal Kingdom for a few hours. And I usually hit 15,000 steps is my goal every single day, not just running, but every day. My goal on my watch is 15,000 steps. And Monday, I did not hit it because I was just trying to rest and relax. So, yeah. Let's keep on going to the questions, I guess. We'll get to the weekend here in just a second. Was that No Way Jose in the disposal bowl? What disposable bowl? Oh, no. That was not a no. No, that was just a on my Instagram story. Is that what you're talking about? That was a brownie sundae over at Anti-Gravity's in Magic Kingdom. Does the race include the park admission for racers? It used to, but it no longer does. So back in 2007, if you did the marathon, you got a free park ticket to the park, and that is no longer the case. So right now, the only things that are included in it is you get a T-shirt like the one I'm wearing right now. You get your medal, you get your bib, and you get bragging rights, and then you get. That's about it. Like you get like the food, and which isn't like it's literally just a little box of food and a banana and some drinks. But the drinks, the nice thing about the drinks, and I can't stress this enough, is the drinks you can take as many as you want. But if you're going to do it, I highly recommend not taking a ton because there's going to be people behind you, and leave some for them too, because that's just common courtesy. Okay, let's keep on going through our questions here. Time to do another medal count video. I should do that. Maybe I'll do that after the springtime surprise. We'll see. What's your favorite race to do? My favorite race to do, and I see medals in your picture there. Did you do the Princess Half Marathon this weekend, Christina? If so, congratulations. My favorite race weekend, it used to be the Star Wars weekend. Now I think it might be Marathon weekend, followed by Wine and Dine, followed by Princess. And Springtime Surprise, I feel like Springtime Surprise is going to like go way up there because, yay, everyone say congratulations to Christina in the chat room as well. Because we said it to Holly, we got to say it to Christina as well. My all-time favorite race is the Expedition Everest 5K Challenge. I love that race. I cannot wait to do that race in 29 days, which is insane. I cannot wait to do that race again. It hands down is my favorite race that Disney's ever done. If you've never done it, it's a 5K followed by a scavenger hunt. This year, there's rumors that it's not going to be 5K then scavenger hunt, but 5K with the scavenger hunt at the same time. But I think they're still going to stick with the original, how it used to be, because it really spaces people out the other way. So I'm really hoping, or I'm really looking forward to that one because I love that one. A lot of people I've talked to have been like really excited about the 10 miler, the Tower of Terror 10 miler. I'm very excited about that as well. However, that Expedition Everest 5K has always been like, it just holds a special place in my heart. I love that race so much, and I cannot wait to do it again. Okay, let's keep on going to questions. Holy cow. What happens if you don't get to the expo to get your bib? Like if there's a flight delay and you just can't get there, can you pick it up in the morning? You can, but they highly recommend not to do this just because they don't want to have because if everyone was doing this, then it would be insane at the start of the race because there's literally thousands of people who are doing the races. So you can, but it's really like a last resort. Like, and make sure if you are in that type of situation that you have checked in saying, I am going to the race. Now they do an expo pass. So if you are doing the Springtime Surprise, for instance, already on your Run Disney account, you can go in there and there's like a waiver to sign. You can sign that waiver. And that's pretty much saying that, hey, I am verifying that I'm coming down for this race. I will be there, blah, 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 blah. And this way, if you're doing that, they bring some, or I guess they bring all the bibs that weren't claimed, but they do want everyone to pick it up the day before. But like you said, if there's a flight delay and you just can't get there, they do have that as a backup plan. However, I've heard it's kind of crazy because there are times where there's a lot of people who have missed it. I liked the last medals much better. How about you? I really like these medals too. We'll go through the medals pretty soon here as we start doing the recap. Okay. Congratulations. Everyone's saying congratulations. Yay. Are you going to try the morning yoga? I just did for the princess, and I think I might sign up for the morning of. Did you? Okay, Holly, this is now your show. Did you like the morning yoga? I did not sign up for it. I have no real interest in it. However, I am slightly curious about what the morning yoga is like. So for those of you guys who don't know, the Princess Half Marathon Weekend, this is the very first time ever they did a morning yoga session at Cinderella Castle on Main Street, USA. And I was curious. I mainly wanted to go over there just to get pictures of the castle early in the morning, but I decided not to do it. So, but they're going to be doing it again for the Springtime Surprise. What do you do with all your medals? They are on the other side of this wall. Take a right, and then on that wall over there. Most of them are. Some of them are not. for instance, I still have like wine and dine ones are right here, along with a few other medals are right here too. So they're kind of scattered around. I need to get a few more layers for my rack in the back there. Any advice to someone who hasn't done dopey before? Will be first marathon? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Actually, yes. My friend Frank, who you guys probably saw in the video, my friend Frank, who has ran most of the races. I got him addicted to Run Disney a few years back, and now he does most of the Run Disney races with me. We got his 18, or he just turned 19-year-old son to do the Dopey Challenge this past January, and we gave him advice, and I don't think he fully took the advice seriously until all of a sudden he realized, oh, wait, you guys probably know what you're talking about. My number one thing is 5K on your first dopey, and if you've never done a marathon, walk the 5K. Like literally just walk it. Just make sure that you are ahead of the last people in the race. Just make sure you finish it. Walk the 5K, take your time. Same thing for the 10K. If you can stay at a fast enough walk pace to stay ahead of those last place people, the balloon ladies, I highly recommend just taking your time. And then the half marathon, just kind of take your time. Just don't, like, all four of the races do not even go for a personal record. You'll be getting a personal record on the marathon no matter what you do because it's your first marathon. So congratulations, you got it. But if you've never done a dopey before, yeah, I would just really take my time. The worst part about doing the dopey challenge is the waking up 4 days in a row. Like that is hands down the worst part about it. So waking up at 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning to go run is ridiculous. But I love it. I absolutely love doing the dopey challenge every single year. Christine, it was a very easy class. As someone who does yoga weekly, but it was amazing to be there in the morning with everyone so quiet and focused to just wake up the body in front of the castle was so relaxing. That sounds, Holly, I think you might have sold me. I think I might be doing the yoga at some point because I think that would be very fun to do. I think that would just be a cool thing to do. All right, keep on throwing your questions into the comments below. We're going to start doing our recap 23 minutes later. We are going to go through. I'm going to keep on answering your questions as we go through here because I know a lot of people have never done Run Disney races and are probably curious about it. So the first day on Thursday was the Expo Day. The Expo is found over at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Essentially, you go over there. You can buy some merchandise if you want to. Princess Half Marathon, they only had one section of merchandise that was really geared towards men. I got this hat there because I like hats and I like Run Disney. And I thought it was a good hat. So I bought this hat and I bought a shirt and I also bought something else and I can't think of what it was now. Oh, I bought sunglasses. But besides that, there was a few shirt designs that I really liked, but they were all women's sizes and I couldn't fit into any of them. So I did not buy anything else at the Expo. I almost bought a tumbler, like this kind of tumbler right here. It said Princess Half Marathon Weekend on it. I really like the design. I decided against it, and I haven't regretted it yet. So we'll see what happens in a few days if I regret it then. When you are at the Expo, you get your shirts, like the one I'm wearing here. We're going to go through the other shirts in just a few minutes. And then you also get your bibs. If you are doing a 5K, whether you're doing a 5K or the challenge, the 5K bib is going to be completely separate. So everyone who does the 5K gets the same 5K bib. It's Cinderella, and here, look, oh, no, over here, look, it's about to strike midnight. I love the little details inside of this thing. If you are doing just the 10K, you get just the 10K bib. If you're doing just the half marathon, you get that. If you're doing both of them, you get a challenge bib. So you don't get a 10K bib or a half marathon bib. You get a challenge bib. The challenge bib is the Fairy Tale Challenge during the Princess Half Marathon weekend. And this time the character was Moana. And then you get your number there, and then your numbers on the side as well. And also a little detail I like. Where is it? The 50th anniversary logo is right there on the bottom corner there as well. In addition to that, you do get, I guess we'll talk about the t-shirts, right? Or the shirts right now. You get your shirts. So this is the half marathon shirt. Mulan was the princess for the half marathon. As you could just see with the 5K, We have Cinderella there for the 5K shirt. I do like the coloring of the 5K shirt, and I also like the coloring of this shirt. I'm not a big fan of the color purple, though. And as much as I love Tiana, I don't know how often I'll be wearing this shirt. I don't. Purple's not my color. But that's the 10K shirt there with Tiana. I love Tiana, though. It was nice having Tiana have all the. There's a lot of like Tiana merchandise and stuff, which again, if they fit me, I would have bought a few shirts because they had some Tiana shirts that were like green, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that. And then for the Fairy Tale Challenge, again with Moana there, it is the Moana shirt. So overall, you get your 4 shirts. Okay, so you go to the expo, you pick up the bibs, you pick up your shirts, and then you head off to go get your rest because you have to be up at 2:30 in the morning, which is insane. Most people don't realize how insane that is. Okay, so during the 5K, let's pull up some pictures here for the 5K because we're going to talk all about the 5K. Now, if you've watched my videos on my YouTube, you probably have seen the different characters that we've had a chance to meet, but we're going to go through them again right here. All right, so during the 5K, first off, I loved the new addition that they had for the 5K and the half. And I don't think they had it for the 10K. But for the 5K and the half, they had at one point in both of them a line where for the first one, the very first one you got to see, you had a line where you could meet Pocahontas, Merida, and who was the other one? Moana, right? Yeah, Moana. So you waited in one line, you met one, met one. I got in this line, first off. I got in this line, and I was on pace. They have my best 5K ever. I ran, I think it was like 6 minutes for 8.8 miles, which is extremely fast for me. Like I'm never that fast. And I got to the character because I was like, oh, I know if you do the races enough, you know exactly where the characters are going to be. So I was like, I know exactly where the character is going to be. I'm going to meet the first character there. And the first character was this character line. I got there and the lady couldn't figure out how to use my phone, which is just a basic phone. And she couldn't figure out how to take a picture. So she's like, oh, I think I took a picture of Merida. And I was with Merida for probably a good 45 seconds. I think everyone in line behind me was getting irritated. I was getting irritated because the picture wouldn't take. And the picture never came through. So then you go over to the next character. The next character was Pocahontas. So there's me and Pocahontas. And then me and Moana. Moana, make way, make way. And then after that, you start to enter backstage of Epcot. Right before we got to the backstage of Epcot, this time around, we did have Lilo and Stitch there. And also, I was the very first person that was cut off from Lilo and Stitch, so I had to wait there for like 4 or 5 minutes. So that was kind of killing me too. So the route goes, you enter through the backstage of Epcot underneath Test Track, you go underneath Test Track, and then you take a right after you get into the World Showcase area, and you enter over by the Mexico Pavilion. After you enter by the Mexico Pavilion, you take a left to go all the way around World Showcase. While going around World Showcase, they do have characters out. So the first one up was Elsa, who was, of course, over at the Norway Pavilion. Norway, yes way. And then over in Germany, we had Snow White. Oh. I hit a button on accident. And then, okay, so then you go backstage over by Morocco. You go behind Ratatouille. You enter back over by the actual Ratatouille section. And then you enter back by France, by the main section of France. And that is where they had Cinderella, along with Susie or Perla. I always forget which one's which. And then after that, you go across the bridge going towards International Gateway. You exit the park, go under the Skyliner, and you take a right and you go right back into the park over by the UK Pavilion. And right after that, they did have Tiana. Tiana there, very blurry picture. I'm so sorry, Tiana. And then after Tiana, we went by Canada. You take a left, you go by Journey into Imagination, and then past the Land Pavilion, past the Seas Pavilion, and then over by this Seas Pavilion. They had the longest character line of the entire day, or actually Cinderella might have been longer, but they had one of the longest character lines. I waited forever, but I think it was totally worth it because it was Three Musketeers, Mickey and Donald. And despite what the person behind me said, this was not them dressed up for a costume party, because this was actually from the 2004 direct-to-DVD home video, The Three Musketeers. It's a really good movie. It has different songs from classical music. So like, very frightening, da 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 da. That was Queen, actually. I think Bohemian Rhapsody was I started singing there. After you finish the 5K, you get the 5K medal. Ooh. I really like the 5K. I really like the 5K medal. Actually, I know someone asked earlier about the medals, whether I like these medals or the last medals better. I do like the Marathon Weekend medals better. However, that's not going to take away from the fact that I do absolutely love these medals as well. Because it is the 50th anniversary, on the back of it, we do have the 50th anniversary logo. And then on top of that, we do have that iridescent amazingness that has been going on all around Walt Disney World. All right, before we get into the 10K, it looks like people have been asking questions on here, so let's keep on going. Where do you park and how do you get into the starting line? So for the 5K and 10K, the half marathon, we're going to have to talk about because, well, we'll talk about it now because someone's asked about parking. It was the first time that I've ever seen a massive fluke during the Run Disney race, but I know why it happened. I'm not mad, but I know a lot of people were mad. So first off, for the 5K, 10K, you park at the Epcot parking lot, and then the starting line is literally in the parking lot. So you literally just go through Disney security, and then you make your way to the starting line. Very, very easy to get to. And if you ever do it and you're lost, just follow them. Thousands of people that are all heading the same direction. During the half marathon, so usually you park at the half, or for the half marathon, you usually park at the Epcot parking lot as well. This time, however, there's two bridges that are going into Epcot or out of Epcot, and one of those bridges is under construction to the point where it's like it doesn't even exist. Like it's gone. There's no bridge at all. Because of that, they had it so this time around you parked at Studios for the half marathon and they bust you over. Now, this is the part where a lot of people are really ticked off. I wasn't really mad, but I was more of like, we're going to start this race. However, I knew the race course well enough that I knew that where the buses were taking us was actually on the race course. So I was like, okay, they're not gonna start the race without us because we're literally driving on the race course. So they're gonna delay it. And they did delay the half marathon by 15 minutes because of the bus situation. But we parked at Studios, and I'm kicking myself right now. Hopefully Frank's not seeing this because I don't want him to hear me say this. Frank was staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I called him on the way over and I said, hey, I'm coming over, pick you up. And he asked me as soon as I got there, he goes, hey, instead of parking at Studios, do you want to just park here? And we'll hop on one of these buses and head over. And I was like, oh, like, you know, it's not a bad idea. However, I know there's going to be more buses at Studios than coming back to Animal Kingdom after the race. And I don't want to have it so I'm staying in a long bus line after the race. I would just want to get on a bus and go. And I feel like there's going to be a lot more buses for Animal Kingdom because there's going to be a lot more people going to Studios. That was a mistake. We should have done the other. And the whole time he was like, Dodge, you screwed up. Yeah. And I'm like, Frank, I'm so sorry. But it's not the end of the world. So yeah, we parked there, and we literally, when we parked, we were about 1,000 people back in line. The line went into the parking lot, and you got on the bus. At least we got on the bus at the very last station. And when we were in line for about 10 minutes, I was like, look behind us. And there was probably about 2,000 people who were behind us as well. We got to Epcot. They dropped us off at Epcot about 10 minutes, I want to say. 10 minutes probably before 5 o'clock. The race started at 5 o'clock originally, or was supposed to, and it was 4:50, and we're like booking it. And I was like, I think we're good. Like, I still think we're good. We were in Corral 2. By the way, I don't think we didn't bring that up, but if you look in the top corner, there's like these S2s. That's the way your Corral is. So I was S2 for the 10K and half marathon, and then I was S1 for the 5K. But that's besides the point. So I was like, I'm pretty sure we're good. I don't think we really have to worry about running up there, and Frank was really worried, so we worried. We ran up there, and while we were going through, I looked on Twitter, which I rarely ever go on Twitter, but I looked on Twitter, and sure enough, on Twitter, Run Disney had posted saying, "Just to let you know, today's race has been delayed by 15 minutes." So I was like, okay, they've got they're not going to start the race when buses are literally on the course. So yeah. Yeah. So okay, that's the long answer to where do you park. What park do you recommend for a Saturday after a race? Okay, so for me, I always like to go to the parks that I run through. So I like after the marathon and after like the half marathon for the Princess, I always like to go to Magic Kingdom because you ran through the castle that day. During the other days, it's usually Epcot that I end up going to. Sometimes it's Animal Kingdom, sometimes it's Studios. This time around, I think I went to Epcot. So I went to Epcot to get some pictures of my medals with different things. So it really depends. Usually Epcot is the busiest because I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, I finished the race, I might as well just book Epcot because I'm already here. And then some people will literally just be reeking of sweat as they go into the park. If you want to do that, go for it. I don't recommend doing that. I did that once after my first dopey. We decided that the smartest idea that we could have is we're like, oh, if we're going to run 48.6 miles, we're going to be really hungry. So I booked reservations at Garden Grill. This is just not like me just saying all the different things that I've done wrong with Run Disney throughout the years. I told Frank that we should have it so we park at Studios. Bad idea. I told Frank that we should have it so we went over to Garden Grill after doing a dopey. Terrible idea. After you do a full marathon, no one ever tells you might be hungry, but you're more exhausted than anything, and you just want to sleep. So after our very first dopey, I had done 2 marathons before that. That was my 3rd marathon. After doing that marathon, I was so tired, and I literally fell asleep on a plate in Garden Grill, and that's how I spent the $45 or whatever it cost to eat at Garden Grill, was literally to just sleep for an hour and a half while everyone else ate. So terrible, terrible, terrible advice by myself. Thank you for the advice. I hope to run 2023 and possibly see you there. My aunt met you this past weekend, and I was so jealous. I met a few. When did your aunt meet me? Did she take the selfie with me? I had someone take a selfie with me right after the race, and I was like so thrown off because I was like just kind of out of it, and I was talking, and I was like, "Can I get a selfie?" I was like, "Yeah." Really nice lady though. She was from Connecticut. I don't know if that's your aunt or not, or if that was someone else, but I thought it was really funny. How do people get to cheer on the runners? So if you want to cheer inside the park, you have to. Okay, well, during the 5K, 10K, you can't go inside the park to cheer. During the half, though, you can go. You check in at Epcot. You take the monorail over to the Ticket and Transportation Center, and then you take the monorail over to Magic Kingdom, and then you can actually cheer on Main Street USA. Really cool experience. As far as I know, it doesn't cost anything. You can just go and cheer the people on. It's a really cool experience for runners to like. My favorite thing is running down Main Street USA. I just think that it's the coolest thing in the world. I wish there was a way for me to like grab some of these people who are cheering and tell them to just stick around for the last runner, because I know, and I say this all the time to people, I'm like, I don't think people realize that the last runner needs that encouragement more than anyone else. Like more than anyone else, I love the encouragement, but I can't imagine there's been times where I am leaving the race, like, because sometimes we'll just sit around like for half an hour and talk, or 45 minutes or whatever. And there's been times where we're walking and we see the last person. We see the last person crossing the finish line, and there's barely anyone in the stands. And it's like, you want to just go over there and be like, yeah, you got this. You got this. Okay. After the 5K, I know exactly who that was. I just saw that. I know exactly who that was. I saw her, blonde hair, right? We were walking through the food station, was just on our left-hand side. Very nice lady though. My one friend a guy who I work with, his girlfriend ran the 5K, and he met up with us after the race, and we were walking, and I'm almost okay. I'm positive, and that's who it was. We were walking out, and she's like, "Hey, I follow you on Facebook." And the guy at work was like, "Does this happen a lot?" And it was just really funny because uh, I just thought it was funny because he just like so confused by what was happening. Because to me, he's or to him, I'm just like coworker Brent, and not like Disney nerd Brent. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the 10K here, and then we'll talk about the half, and then we'll keep on going through your questions here in the comments. Also, if you guys missed it, we are trying to get to 1,400 subscribers on YouTube. We are 4 away, or we were 4 away at the start of the show. If we get to the 1,400, we will go into a longer show and answer more questions, whether they're about Run Disney or about anything Disney. So keep on sending people over on YouTube as well. Okay, so the 10K course, you start in the Epcot parking lot. Once again, I don't understand why this. Oh, okay, now I understand why it's doing that. You start in the Epcot parking lot again. You go out through the Auto Plaza, and then you go down World Drive until you get to Studios. You run through Studios, coming from over by Rock and Roller Coaster / the Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. You go down Sunset Boulevard. You take a left on Hollywood Boulevard. You exit the park, and then you run down the pathway between Studios and Epcot. They don't let you take the Skyliner. Don't know why. Yeah, you make your way over to Epcot, and then you enter by the UK, and then you go down same exact route as the half marathon. You go past Canada, past Imagination, past Bishop Earth, and then you go backstage and finish up the race. Okay, so for the 10K, so my one rule for the races, and this is not just for this weekend, this is for all the race weekends, I like to meet every character throughout the weekend. It's just something I like to do. And if I meet a character once, I won't meet them a second time if they're there that weekend again. If it's a completely separate weekend, like for instance, during the half marathon, Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde were around. I had met them during marathon weekend, but I had not met them this weekend, so I stopped to meet them again. If it is a character who I've already met, however, they're with someone else that I have not met, I will wait again, which brings us to our first character. So right before mile 1 was Anna and Elsa. From our last pictures over in Norway, we did meet Elsa. So I saw Anna there, and I was like, okay, I got to meet Anna and Elsa together. So went over and did that. Right after that, you did mile 1. Right around mile 2, there was a few characters. There was Joy and Sadness. By the way, I didn't have a selfie of Joy and Sadness. They took a photo op of that during the 5K. I passed Joy and Sadness because I saw them the day before. And then right after them was this one here. This was Aurora along with Flora from Sleeping Beauty. Again, there's my hands behind my back. We talked about that earlier. And then you enter, or like I said, you enter Studios behind by, it's kind of over by Tower Terror. You run by Hollywood Boulevard. And that took us to our next character meeting greet, which was Mr. and Mrs. Incredible. We are right there at the Theater of the Stars. Theater of the Stars for Beauty and the Beast live on stages. In case you guys are trying to figure out exactly where this picture is taken, there's Tower of Terror in the background as well. Right after them, right in the Studios parking lot, I was like, longest line probably for the 10K, but it was Prince Mickey. Look at Prince Mickey. Isn't he great? I just think that is such a great outfit. I've met Prince Mickey in the past during Princess Half Marathon weekends, but it's the only time that you can really see him in that outfit. I think that's just, he's like in his little, like, he looks like Edward from Enchanted. After that, after you go down the boardwalk, also a huge shout out to the girl in the Minnie Mouse skirt. This sounds weird when I just say it like that. If you've ever done the run between Studios and Epcot, it is the most narrow thing in the world. It's my least favorite part of any course on Run Disney property. And yeah, probably. The other one's long, but it's not as congested. It is so congested on that walk or on that run that unless you get someone who's like really good at weaving in front of you, there's no, like, you're just stuck behind people who might be slower than you, or sometimes you get stuck behind walkers, and at this point, I'm usually so energized. I'm like, I just want to run. And so it always kind of drives me crazy. There was this girl in a Minnie Mouse skirt, and she was weaving like crazy. And I was like, I'm following her. And I just pretended like I was with her so people would not collapse after we passed. And she got me through the whole thing so quickly. So shout out to the girl in the Minnie Mouse skirt. I don't know your name. However, I am eternally thankful. When you head to the boardwalk area, over there we had Chip and Dale in their 50th anniversary outfits. The flash was going off the picture at the same time from the PhotoPass camera, so not a very good picture. Then you go by the Beach Club and Yacht Club when you're going over there. They had Goofy out. They also had Donald out in vacation gear. However, when I got in line, it was both of them out, and then Donald was leaving. And I was like, no, Donald, come back. But Donald was like taking his sweet time. I was like, Donald did not want to be around at all. Like I said, you enter into Epcot and you go by UK, you go past Imagination. Over by Imagination, we had Clarabelle Cow there. That was the only time you can see my things behind my back again, recording for my YouTube channel. That was the only time I forgot to hit the record button. So unfortunately, Clarabelle Cow was not part of my video. And then after you finish all of the 10K, you get your next medal. Where's my other medal? Oh, there it is. I was kind of freaking out there. Next medal is the 10K medal with Tiana on the front. Princess of the Frog has become one of my favorite of the Disney princess films. More I watch it, the more I love it. So, and plus, if you've ever gone on the Disney Wonder on the cruise line, Tiana's place is like the greatest restaurant ever. One thing I love about this is on the side there, you can see the frogs. They have one on each side, so I don't know which one Nadine is. And then on the back again, we've got the 50th anniversary logo. And then we get the little Mardi Gras symbols there as well. So that was the 10K. And then let's talk a little bit about the half marathon, and then we'll go into our final thing. So at the half marathon, like I said, you started at Magic Kingdom, you went out through the Auto Plaza, and then the first characters they had there was Merida along with Pocahontas. I had met both of them during the 5K, so I skipped them. And then shortly after that, they had Moana, who I also met during the 5K. However, I met her again because it was one long line to meet both her. Is that going to focus? Nope, it's not going to focus. But it was her along with Mulan. Now, keeping in mind, Mulan was the princess for the half marathon. Moana was the princess for the challenge. Shortly after that, right at mile 2, actually, exactly on mile 2, was Mushu off in the distance there. And then after Mushu, I love this part of it. After Mushu, you go through the Magic Kingdom Auto Plaza. I always stop to get a picture there. I look like a crazed lunatic who's like, yeah, I'm running. In the parking lot, we had, like I said earlier, Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde. And then I always stop for a picture of the castle as well there too. After that, you run through Tomorrowland. When you enter into Tomorrowland, you start by the bridge and then you go up towards New Fantasyland. Over by Little Mermaid and the Sea Little Mermaid, we had Prince Eric along with Sebastian there. Where's Prince Eric? Let's zoom in on Prince Eric. Prince Eric seemed like he didn't really talk at all. I was like, hey, Prince Eric. He didn't talk. Next up, we had Gaston, and Gaston was actually really funny. He was making fun of me. I didn't realize he was telling me to pose. He was like, come pose with me. And I didn't hear that he was posing until I watched the video later on. And then I was leaving. He was like, that looks like this guy's intimidated by me. Next, we had some amazing photography skills by the person. So you go through regular Fantasyland. You pass the carousel on the left-hand side at Princess Fairy Tale Hall. Outside, we had Princess Elena of Eladar. This is literally the picture. It cuts off my head. Like, that is the top of the picture. So kudos to that cast member. And then after that, we had Rapunzel. Rapunzel, I think, is my favorite Disney princess, so I was very excited to see Rapunzel on the course. And then you exit through the castle, which is one of the coolest things in the world, is just running through Cinderella Castle. After you exit the castle, you take a right, you go down through Liberty Square, then you go into Frontierland. At the entrance of Frontierland, we had Woody, who recently got a facelift. Look at him. Look at how good Woody looks. And Bo Peep was there as well. And then you continue going through Frontierland. You go to the right towards Big Thunder Mountain. They don't let you ride it. And then you swing around. You go past the entrance of Splash Mountain, and then you go backstage. And then right after you enter backstage is where they have the Villains Float from Festival of Fantasy. And this time, when I was there at least, they had Maleficent. When one of my other friends went, she started like 3 crowds behind me. She said that she saw Cruella de Vil there. So a lot of the characters, they keep on switching out. So the characters get breaks. You exit through backstage, you go around the building, and then you're at right around the halfway point. And from the halfway point to the Epcot is one of the longest stretches that's ever been created for mankind. You go past the Grand Floridian. First off, at Grand Floridian, we had our next character meet and greet, which was Tinkerbell, along with, what's her name again? It's not Silver Mist. Periwinkle? No, that's Periwinkle. Is that her name? I'm drawing a blank right now. Let me know in the comments. And then after that, I met Tiana again, but the only reason I met Tiana again was due to the fact that Naveen was there as well. After that, there was a lot of characters on this part of the course, and then after this, it just looked at like no characters at all. Princess Ada, or Queen Ada from A Bug's Life. I think that might be the last character for a while. Yeah. And then you go down a long stretch of road of nothingness. Like, it is the worst part of the course besides that part going from boardwalk or on the boardwalk there. It's a long thing of nothingness, and unless you try to keep your mind busy, if you've never done a race before, to me, it's just the worst part. Like, you just got to keep your mind active. My friend Frank did not stop for any characters, so he was about a mile ahead of me throughout most of the course. When he was on that stretch of road, he called me because he was like losing his mind. He's like, "Can you just keep me busy right now? I just need to talk to someone." I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. How's life? How are the kids?" And then you go around the turnpike. What's it called? I don't know. The roundabout, whatever you want to call it. You go around to the overpass. That's a word. You go to the overpass, and then right before you enter into Epcot, they had the genie there from Aladdin. And then you cross over the bridge, past the Epcot bus loop, and then you enter backstage over by the bus loop. And over there is where I saw Abu along with Aladdin. And then, of course, you got the magic carpet behind him, too. Does that count as another character? He didn't move at all. Maybe we count that as another one. And then you enter over by Epcot. You go around the Land Pavilion. You go around the Seas Pavilion. You go enter over by Imagination. After you enter into Imagination, you don't even go into World Showcase at all. You just kind of go straight over by the Creation Shop. And then you go around the corner past Guardians of the Galaxy, where that's being built at, and then you go by Spaceship Earth. When I was over there, I posted this picture on my Instagram stories, and a lot of people were very confused, so we're going to share it here too, just to confuse people. This is Jeff Galloway. Jeff Galloway ran in the 1972 Olympics, and he's like the official ambassador for Run Disney. So if you ever do a Run Disney race, most likely Jeff Galloway is there. He is an actual Olympian. He actually ran in the Olympics. Really nice guy. He'll sit there and talk to you forever. I've met him a few times. I've never actually seen him on the course. So I was like, "Hey, Jeff, can I get a picture with you real quick?" And he was like, "No, go." And I was like, "No, please." No. He was like, "Yeah, of course." After that was right before mile 13. So after you finish that, you get your half marathon medal. Like I said, we got Mulan there, and this one actually spins. It's kind of a pointless spin medal, in my opinion. I mean, it's cool that it spins, but it just says the 50th logo on the back, but that's what all the other logos had too. So it's a weird that it's a spinner, just in my opinion. When I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird that it spins. And then if you do both the 10K and the half marathon, you also get your challenge medal. The challenge medal was Moana, make way, make way. And then these flowers spin around in circles too. Yay! All right, let's continue going through your questions in the comments below because it looks like people haven't sent any comments. I just haven't had a chance to really go through and see the comments. Do they tell the walkers to go to the right? They tell them to go to the right before the race starts, but not all of the walkers listen. So that it's kind of a pet peeve. So there's Jeff Galloway, who we just showed you. Jeff Galloway has a run pace group. He's got volunteers that actually go out and run the races, and they do a pace for what they're going to do. So if it's like 2 hours and 30 minutes or 2 hours 15 minutes, and they usually drive me crazy some of the times because they run for 30 seconds, walk for 30 seconds, run for 30 seconds, walk for 30 seconds. And they kind of drive me crazy sometimes because some of the people who are running near them will just start walking and they'll be right in front of you. I'm like, I didn't realize that you're with this group. Like, stay to the right. So today, or this time around on the half marathon, I heard one lady who was like shouting at the group, like, stay to the right. And I was like, thank you. Like, she was the leader. So I was, she wasn't like yelling at them. That part of the course was terrible. I'm assuming that you mean, what time did you write that? 10:16. So I'm assuming that that's for the 10K, for that long part of the course. Yeah. So if you're running these and you're walking, try to stay to the right. I always try to stay to the right. I did this time around. This was the first time I've done a race weekend where I actually ran literally all of the 5K, all of the 10K, and all of the half marathon. Usually I'll take walk breaks every now and then, but this time I was actually feeling great for all three. I was like, I'm going to see if I can do it. And I did it. Yay. So, yeah. If anyone else has any questions throw the questions in the comments. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping this bad boy up in just a few seconds here, unless we've hit that 1,400 subscribers over on YouTube. We're going to check that right now. Oh, we got closer. We're at 1,398. I'll give you guys a few extra minutes here. Even if you don't have questions about the race weekends, you want to just throw some Disney questions in there, you guys got us 2 new subscribers. I'll give you guys an extra 5 minutes. We're going to stay till 10:30 unless we hit the 10:40. And we'll just say every time that you guys get us 2 new subscribers on YouTube, we'll go up, we'll add another 5 minutes to the show. So keep on throwing questions into the comments below if you guys can hear me. Looks like no one's even commented for a while, so I wonder if the comments if I'm not seeing them. Let's see here. We'll switch it to that, and then we'll get rid of that and go back to that. And see, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, the Princess Half Marathon has always been my least favorite of the race weekends, but I still have a great time. It's funny because I've talked to some people and they're like, well, why do you do it if it's your least favorite? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I still go to all 4 parks, even though I obviously going to have the least favorite and a favorite and a second favorite and third favorite. Just because something's your least favorite doesn't mean you still don't enjoy it. So, All right, let's keep on going through. We got some questions coming up here about non-run Disney, but that's fine. Start throwing those non-run Disney questions in there as well, and we will start going through those questions. I'm going to give you guys till 10:35, and then we'll check again if we have more subscribers. We'll keep on going here. All right, let's start with this one. What got you hooked on Disney? Did you grow up near Walt Disney World, or were you in the college program? I grew up nowhere near Disney World. I grew up in Wisconsin. I lived in Wisconsin until about 12 years ago, 13, 12. It's been almost 12 years. Actually, it was 12 years yesterday. Oh, that means it was from Screen Team's birthday yesterday. Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday from Screen Team. Happy birthday to you. March 1st, 2010 was the day that I moved down to Walt Disney World. Now, my family used to go to Disney quite often for people who were from Wisconsin, mainly due to the fact that my aunt lived about 3 hours away from here. So we would come down and visit her, And then we would also make a point to go and visit Disney World as well. Because if you're going to be in Florida as a kid, you want to go to Disney World as well. So we went to Disney a lot. I grew up obviously going to see all of the different Disney movies as they came out. And I grew up at the golden age. Like it was the Renaissance age. I was 5 years old when The Little Mermaid came out. I was 6 when Rescuers Down Under came out. I was 7 when Beauty and the Beast came out. 8 when Aladdin came out. 10 when Lion King came out. So I grew up with all of these amazing movies coming out, and obviously just completely fallen in love with Disney and the movies. And then I did the college program in 2004, and out of everyone that was on the college program with me, I was clearly the biggest Disney nerd. There was one other guy that was a pretty big Disney nerd. His name was Steven. And I don't know what happened to Steven. I don't think he's writing books about Disney, though, so I think I beat him. No, he might be. I have no idea. This was 2004. Facebook was not out yet. MySpace was just becoming a thing. So at the end of the program, someone convinced me to get a MySpace, so I kept in contact with a few people, but most people I had no idea who they were. And when I went back up to Wisconsin, after my college program, I finished and I got my degree and I taught for a few years. And then I had an idea for a book from Screen to Theme, and I wanted to be closer to Disney. So I moved back down here to write books and make videos and all that other fun stuff that I absolutely love. So yeah, I got hooked on Disney at a very early age. Hopefully that answers the question. What merch do you want to get from Flower and Garden? I already got some merch. I think I got all the merch that I'm gonna get for Flower and Garden. I got the salt and pepper shakers. Those are, I like Flower and Garden a lot, but when it comes to merchandise for Flower and Garden, there was a time where they had really good merchandise. The first year that I moved down here, they had some of the best merchandise available. It's right here. It's not right there. It's around the corner. I'm forgetting which corner I'm next to, even though I've been literally at this corner for the last 12 years. They had some really cool things. They had like lawn ornaments a few years ago, and I got those. I talked about them actually not that long ago on the show, but I got the salt and pepper shakers, and I got some gift cards because I collect gift cards because it's a free souvenir. You can get the gift card, spend the money on food or whatever, and then you have a gift card. So I collect gift cards. I know it's crazy. How long does it take all the runners to actually cross the start line? Sometimes it's like an hour. So that it depends on the race, really. But they were saying for the 10K that it was almost an hour from when the first person started to when the last person started. So it really depends on the actual race and how many people actually participate in the race. But there's been times like for the 5K in 5K in November for the Wine and Dine Half Marathon, I was finishing the 5K and they were still letting people out. And it took me about 45, like I stopped for characters and stuff. So the fact that they were still letting people out to start the race and I was already done with the race was like, oh, this is kind of crazy. Like, and that's one of those things that I've always wanted to do again because it was just kind of a cool feeling. Like, haha, you guys are starting. Now I'm driving home. But the only reason I was going home was because I was in the first corral that time. If I was in the later corral, there's no way. There's no way. Absolutely no way. Okay, any other questions here? Otherwise, we might be wrapping up our show here. Let's check the YouTube stats. Come on, 1,400. Come on, 1,400. Nope, it's still 1,398. Boom. Okay, we did get the 5 minutes. We answered the questions. So let's wrap this one up here. So as always, if you guys didn't already know, tonight's show is sponsored by It's All About the Miles Travel. Make sure you stop by It's All About the MilesTravel.com for all of your Disney travel needs. All their services are absolutely positively 100% free. So make sure you book with them for your next Disney vacation. I'd like to thank everyone out there for joining us once again this week. Please keep on spreading the word about the Wednesday show and from Screen to Theme. And of course, my YouTube channel as well. Invite anyone and everyone to join the group for all three whenever you get the chance. Side note, my goal because I like to put goals out there. Because if we don't have goals, then we're just going to be standing still. My goal by the end of March, by March 31st, is to have that number at 1,500. So if you know anyone who is not already subscribed over on YouTube, send them over my way. Share a video or two. I post a video every day, so make sure you go share it with some friends, family, your enemies. If you don't enjoy the stuff, say, hey, I had to suffer, so should you. So keep on going through and spreading the word. We're going to hit 1,500 at the end of this month. That is the goal, if not by the end of this sentence. Nope, not yet. And of course, as always, remember that anything can happen if you let it. Have a great week, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Are they gone? Are they gone? Oh, good. My cheeks are just killing me. I can't stand this kind of.